Here at Sojourn, it all belongs.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends.
It's been a minute. Oh, here I am looking at the wrong camera.
It's
again.
okay. I considered just eliminating the screen altogether over here so that you weren't ever tempted to look at it.
Tempted. Folks, if you could see the situation that I have to put up with over here. Also, I'm going to take these shades off now.
Because the lights were
but
really
I do have
glary.
to tell you that these rad shades I'm wearing right now, pretty cool, right? These, you remember what these are from?
No, I was actually going to ask you, where did those come from? I use them as decoration back on my
You do,
bookshelf.
which is really funny.
Yeah.
These are from when our child, Ty, our second oldest child, Ty, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, created their own Halloween costume character. Like, just wrote a character in their head and dressed up as that character. The character had a purple arm and these awesome yellow shades. The child was like 13, 14 years old and decided
I like that.
that was
I
gonna be
remember
okay.
that now. I remember you had me at Purple Arm.
Anyway. That's what
Welcome to
those shades are
Sojourn
from.
Grace,
Hi.
everybody. My name is Colby, and this is Kate, and we are the co-pastors
In case you didn't know.
of this thing. And
Hi.
it's lovely to be here with you this morning.
It has been a minute.
We're back in
we had
Virtual Church world.
It's been a lot. We had 2 church services that were supposed to be in person that last minute canceled.
Yeah.
And then what was that when you went over
Well,
to
2 Sundays ago, I went over to Wide Open Commons.
2 Sundays ago or
Yeah.
3 Sundays ago?
Two Sundays ago.
Can't keep
The
track
9th,
of time.
the
How
9th
long
of
have we had
January.
COVID for now? Yeah, whenever that was.
2.
And I had
Long,
COVID
too
but didn't
long.
know it. Thought it was just a cold because the new thing is that your tests come back negative for a real long time before you finally realize you have
Oh,
it.
tests.
So that's fun.
Why do we do them? I think we have to. But man, they're so
Anyway,
strangely.
so you went over
unpredictable.
and did virtual church with our friends at the Commons.
And made a joke
then-
like, Kate's sick this morning, so not here, but it's not COVID. It's just it's not COVID-19, I think I said. It's just regular, like COVID-16, just an old school cold.
But it wasn't. It was COVID. And then shortly after that, one of our children had COVID. And then shortly after that, you had COVID. And so we've just been over
Did I
here.
just raise the roof for
did. I
contracting?
don't know why you did that.
Because we have to stay in the... No, we don't have
What?
to.
What do we have to stay in?
I don't know.
How are you going to finish?
It is absurd to raise the roof for COVID. I agree. And
And you're in Enneagram 3, so there we are. Hi, everybody. It's really good to see all your faces and names
Yeah.
pop up.
thanks for
During the
saying hi in the comment
countdown,
section.
I was saying, I love our church.
It's good to
just so
see
good
you,
to
Susan.
See you all.
So glad you're here.
You lift my spirits. And thank you to everyone who's been sending love and food and money for
Oh
food.
my gosh, people
Good
have
Lord,
been
y'all.
sending us
Thank you.
food money and
That
feeding
kept us
us.
alive. Like, obviously, literally, because
Yeah.
food, but like spiritually, mentally alive because we were not in a good place. What are you doing, baby?
Well, I'm just
so
putting people's
distracting.
I know. I was putting people's comments on there, but it was so hard to see. They were so wee.
So
Not like in the
weird.
good Nintendo kind, but in like the small itty bitty kind.
Anyway.
Okay.
Here
So,
we are.
hi,
so this
Susan, so
morning,
good to hear. Hi,
we're
Shane.
back to Garage Church, which is a form of virtual church that we do when we can't even go over to our friends' houses for virtual church. And then in the next few weeks, we'll be over at the Commons. Yes? Is that the plan?
That is the plan.
The next few weeks will not be in person, of course,
Yeah.
because the world sucks
At least
again, and
through
we're back at this.
mid-February, we know. So like the next 3 Sundays for sure will be virtual church back at where it all started.
Yep.
Hi, Cameron. Good morning. So glad you're with us.
Oh, hi, friends. Yes, I was wearing glasses, and it was fun for a moment. And then they started...
They are fire.
They are
according
like
to
blue
Marquise.
blockers, which my chiropractor.
Wait, what are
told me
blue
to get.
blockers? Hi, Bill.
Glasses that you wear for looking at screens, so that you don't. They don't know if it does anything yet, but people buy them and wear them. My chiropractor told me that. I
Oh,
should
like
wear
the
them.
bracelets you used to wear to give you better balance? Similar to that?
I don't know.
Aren't
I
the
don't
comments
know.
disappearing?
I don't know, babe. Here we are.
Automatically hide comments. There
Listen,
we
this
go.
is what we're going to do today. We're in the Garage Virtual Church. We do still have music and not from us.
thanks, Alexa.
And that's fun. Oh, it is looking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cole's so good at that. This is our garage. Can you believe it? This is our garage. And Cole turned it into that. It looks amazing. Looks like
Hi,
we're in our living
Lauren.
room.
Good morning.
Welcome to the COVID Breakthrough Club. Yeah.
Hi, Robert, and
fun.
just Michelle and Emma, if you're there.
Triple vaccinated COVID. It's not fun. And I have so far fallen into the camp of folks that I knew I would fall into. I knew if I got COVID, just because
Is that hard for you as an Enneagram 4?
What?
To like end up becoming like everyone else? Like you knew
Well, first of all, it's not everyone else. And second of all, no, I've done my work. I don't have that Enneagram 4 experience anymore.
If you have to tell people you've done your work, have you done your work?
I know. Don't call me out. That was good. That was good. No, I've fallen into the camp of people, and I know my body, so I knew this would happen. So I really didn't want to get COVID. I wanted to fall into the camp of people who've never got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I knew if I got it, I would fall into that camp of people that can't get rid of the symptoms, like just the ongoing.
Oh.
I mean, it's only been a few weeks, so I can't like declare I have long COVID. I don't mean that, but like seriously, it's not going away.
Or at least a medium termer at this point.
Good Lord, it is not going away. I feel like I'm going to pass out all the time. I spent very short amount of time up and doing activity yesterday and immediately napped.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and then just spent the rest of the evening going,
We are nothing.
So.
We are regular. And who wants to be regular? Yeah, me too, Lauren. It just sort of worked its way through our family. We had a nice 2-week stretch. And that was only half of our fam.
3/6
The odds are really high that the other half will at some point. I don't know, knock on something. I mean, they lived with us and managed to not get it. So
yeah, but we worked really hard too. I mean, you like that moment, and y'all, a bunch of you know what this is like. When you're sitting in your own living room wearing 3 masks, that is the moment when you go, what is life? What are we doing? You sent
This is amazing.
You sent our sweet sibs. What's amazing?
Michelle made chicken soup for us, put it in mason jars, but then never brought it over.
I love you so much.
Thanks, Michelle.
That's my favorite thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Michelle also drove all the way out to our house, which we couldn't live further away from each other. Like literally not possible to live further away from each other. And she drove all the way out to our house with so much food when we moved. Remember that?
I do remember that.
So mason jars of soup that never made it are also awesome. There are studies that show blue light inhibits. Okay, put that up. I want to know about it.
Circadian rhythms? Is that the bugs outside that like
around bedtime
are really loud?
There's a nugget of truth in the blue light.
So
there's a nugget of truth in everything, isn't there? Well, there you go. Okay. Maybe I should get them. Right. I don't know. My body could use any tricks. More people from the UK. Yay. I miss our UK folks.
Great.
My fellow 4 has my back. Tito. a unique breakthrough COVID experience.
Y'all.
Sure. Whatever. Who cares?
Oh, there's a word for it. Dinosaurtopia is my life. Happy to give you tips. I don't think I pronounced that correct.
I don't know how you got
it's
dinosaur.
Just the word that came to my mind.
That was awesome.
Major
Lauren,
buffering going on.
I'm so sorry.
Is that on our end?
Oh, there is? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I hope that's on Donna's end. No offense.
Oh, shoot.
Let me look at our bandwidth.
Oh, Michelle just said, cruel of you to share that, husband.
That's really funny. So,
I love you all.
Hey, we're going to...
Anyways, I was starting to say, though, really quick, that during all this, you put the best gift that exists on planet Earth into a thread with our sweet siblings that was just like people hitting buttons. Were they hitting buttons and saying, this is pointless?
two Simpsons characters.
This is pointless.
Screwing and tightening
that's right.
a thing that just turned the light up and down.
This is pointless.
Over and over again.
And I just have never felt so seen in my entire life. It's just everything feels pointless. Well, we're going to talk about that later. Okay, what are we doing here today? Today we have music coming in. Yeah. Special music. That made me think of
I think that's what
South
I called
Albany
it, by the way.
Community
I think
Church.
on the screen it says
did?
special music by, or maybe it just says music brought to you.
Does that take y'all back? Special music?
We're going to pass the digital plate. No, but we thought, hey, one of the fun things about something like this is we can bring in other people virtually to share. So my brother, Logan, is going to share a couple songs with us. One here in a second, and then one later on.
Robert, I thought about that too. That's all I was craving.
It's not
That's
going to
why
be
we're
that.
stretching this out so long, and we'll keep doing that.
It's not
so
good.
yes, we will
everybody
do that.
Get your digis warmed up because there's going to be a lot of chances
for
you to please.
Robert says, "Can this be the whole service?"
Us.
Yes, this is what we wanted. Just hang out with you again. It's been a long time, but we are going to do some music. I do have a quick spiritual nugget.
And we'll end with communion.
Which hopefully will make sense because COVID fog. Oh, Lauren, I did want to say really quick, I saw your comment and I blew past it, but I wanted to say I knew that about you, that you've had several bouts of COVID and then long COVID, and I'm just so sorry. And now that I've had 2 weeks of experiencing it, which is nothing, I already felt so bad and had so much empathy, and now I just don't even know what to say. It's awful, and I'm so sorry. And anybody out there who's going through that, please share your experience, and so we can all gather around you and just know that I see you. And it's inexplicable. Yeah. And if you haven't had it, it's really hard to understand. And now I get it.
And if you have had it, no shame, no guilt.
Oh, God, no.
Right?
No.
Like, remember, I think early on in the pandemic, there was that impetus was like happening. Like, I did something wrong because I got it.
No, you're in a freaking pandemic. No.
Yeah, at this point,
no.
This variant is so contagious that it's just...
I even know right when I got it, and I still am not letting myself feel bad about it because what are you going to do? Yeah. Life. All right. Special Music Plus will be doing interpretive dance.
I already did my dancing. Did it up top. If you weren't here for the countdown, then you have to go back and rewatch it on your own time.
It's great to see you too. All right.
Okay. What are you doing next? Let's send it over to Logan to share a song. Ready, Logan? He said yes. Okay.
This is a song of blessing that I sung over my kids for years at bedtime. So I'm singing it over y'all this morning. Wish upon you peace, wish upon you grace, wish for less of what you want, more of what you need. Wish upon you an old life with a heart that stays young. Most of all, I wish upon you love. I wish upon you truth when all you feel is doubt. I hope you know that an open mind still knows when to shut things out. I wish upon you a brave heart that'll always rise above. But most of all, I wish upon you love. And as the sun sets, where the moon begins to rise, so even in the darkness you'll find the light. Oh, you'll find the light. You'll find the light. Yes, even in the darkness, you'll find the light. I wish upon you an easy life, and I wish upon you hard times. I hope you know that both joy and pain each need their moment to shine. I wish you ears that are quick to listen and you're slow to use that tongue. But most of all, I wish upon you love. And as the sun sets, where the moon begins to rise, so even in the darkness, you'll find the light. Oh, you'll find the light. You'll find the light. Oh, you'll find the light. Yes, even in the darkness, you'll find light. Yes, even in the darkness, you'll find the light.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks for sharing that. I love that song.
All right, collective conversation time.
Yeah.
This is what we were all aching for, right?
This is where you
Hi, friends.
interact with us.
Talk to us.
And interact with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Cross-pollination. And because we have about half of y'all on YouTube and half of y'all on Facebook, we realize that you won't see each other. So we'll try to
put them on the screen
so you can respond to each other. But let's just...
Hi, Benjamin.
Oh, good. Donna switched over to YouTube and now is not experiencing buffering. That's fantastic. Hi, Benjamin Cornelius.
What is happening? Are you okay?
Yet to be determined.
Okay.
Okay, here... Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah, questions go here. Thank you. We know that. Let's just start here. We talked about this a little bit already.
General check-in. What's Omicron doing to you?
How the heck are you?
How are you? How's your Omicron going?
Dear God, that's the new greeting card we send people.
How's your pandemic? How's your apocalypse?
Yeah, we kind of just imagine we're just connecting in the courtyard of the church before the service starts, and we're like, hey, how are you? And we push past that initial...
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
And then we actually share, take a minute
no,
and
really.
share. How are you? What gifts has this brought you? What stressors has this brought you? What changes, what alterations? How are things doing for you? So this is kind of just let us know how things, and you shared a little bit about how things are going for us these last 2 weeks. It was uniquely difficult. Not just, I mean, I would say, and you've already mentioned a little bit about how your symptoms you've had residual effects. And so it's definitely hit you harder than it has me or one of our kids. But as much, if not more challenging than that, than like dealing with the sick symptoms, was just sort of dealing with the way that this wants to throw your life into disruption.
Mm-hmm. Emotionally and mentally.
Mentally.
Tremendously challenging.
Trying to figure out how to keep kids in school, trying to figure out how to, like, because the way that the tests are like kind of accurate. I don't know, like we're a little bit like, but they're the best we have, right? They're kind of all we have is to do this world of testing and positives and negatives, and then figuring out the CDC's timeline with 5 days with no symptoms, test here, the schools, each one have their own trees. And so trying to figure out how all of that works together and realizing it doesn't always really work together, especially when you can't test. God, I remember 2 weeks ago when you first tested positive, we had a few tests that were given to us from the kids' schools, but then we ran out of those like within one round of trying to test everybody. And so we spent the next 2 days driving
Colby
6
was
hours.
negative at that point, so Cole went up to all the stores at opening.
13 stores in 2 days over 6 hours of driving just to find a freaking at-home test.
And going to our clinic that we go to with appointments and doing that as well. Mm-hmm. And we were testing every single family member, all 6 of us, every single day. And it was ridiculous.
Just very disrupting.
All right, let's see what everyone else is going through. Donna is Omicron weary. Yep. Marie just said the word weary too. Are we all just so weary?
Don't forget to put them on the screen so that so that people can see.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Weary. Karen says just your standard brain fog and fatigue. Foggy brain makes full-time writer life a real fun time. Ugh, the things you can't do. I spent so many hours this week trying to deep dive into learning. Oops, it went off the screen. Anyway, trying to learn the in and outs of employee ownership models, and like monkey underpants is all I got. Sorry, that's a reference for people who know Gilmore Girls.
Oh, I was like, that's clever.
Monkey underpants.
Yeah.
It's rampant in the nursing home where David lives. Oh no,
Melanie,
where your husband lives. I'm so sorry. I get a phone call almost every afternoon with an update as to how many workers, contracted providers, and or residents
It
have
is
tested
nerve-wracking.
positive. It's nerve-wracking. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Melanie.
Tito has a terrible cough since the beginning of the month and kept getting negative tests. See that? It's so frustrating because you don't know. Yep, Irma says 9 to 10 hours a day in a mask, home alone at night. Just lost a cousin 2 days ago from COVID. Irma, I did not know that. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Mom.
Yes, Alexa, right? It's getting to the point where just everybody you know
Yeah.
sick. Oh, Patty, you feel me? I'm so sorry, you guys. Bill and Patty have been dealing
6
with
weeks
the
and
lingering.
they're still coughing and feeling wiped out. Ooh, you can make Omicron moronic, and that's what's still, yeah, that's fun. Also, I would love to know, just, do you say Omicron or do you say Omicron? I'd like to know what the division here is. Do you O or do you Ah?
Things we really care about, right?
I Omicron.
Oh, Jeremy, hi. Oh, it's so good to see your name.
Hi, Jeremy.
And
Hi, Jen.
your face, and to picture your beautiful spouse as well, even though I can't see her face.
Yeah.
Thankful you're healthy as well.
Yeah, Lauren, isn't it nice to live in a city where you
beach.
can go to the beach in the middle of January and find some...
God for San Diego.
Yeah.
How many times have we said that during the pandemic? Goodness gracious, so glad
Shane,
I've
feeling anxious. Sorry, bud. That's real.
Same, bud. Same. Oh no, Laura.
Damaged a muscle in my chest.
Ow. Oh, a
Sneeze was agony.
Oh, I know that feeling. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, coughing would be awful. So I'm glad you're taking care.
Mercy.
Okay, the emotional struggles that come with this thing, right?
Loser with no life.
Yep.
You have to remember circumstances. Yeah, like
God,
circumstances
so
are everything right now. I was thinking,
Cameron.
oh, my chronic.
Cool.
My chronic. That's one way to get through this.
Benjamin, Icron.
Omicron. Anyway, it's good. Thanks for that. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, Mercy
Camille.
was feeling.
Hi,
okay.
Camille. I miss you.
Camille?
Sorry.
What?
Yes, we can
Hi,
get back
Camille.
to that. I just saw Camille's name and was like,
Exhausted.
I miss you. Exhausted in every sense of the word. Work
Okay.
with kids, and I'm so weary of constant ongoing exposures.
Can I share a quick thought?
God, so true. I'm so sorry.
Um,
Yes, you can.
and then we can get
I
back
just
to
wanna
no. This is great.
keep
This is totally
responding
great.
to everybody. It's exhausting, wiped out aisles,
Hi, Chris.
skyrocketing cases, confusion as to why, if the cases are even worse than they were when we had the tiered system. Why we were, yes.
Yeah.
It's so confusing, isn't it?
Like,
and also high.
Are our policies actually doing anything at this point? Because I don't know.
Is anything doing
Is anything
anything?
doing
I go
anything?
back to that GIF. Pointless. Even though I know it's not. Paradox. Ugh.
But we have to be able, well, no, we don't have to. We choose in this family to give ourselves permission to express all the frustrations around it.
Yeah. Even though we also understand all the things.
Yeah. Staying
Laura,
home,
yeah,
so
it's
hard.
hard.
Don't go to the
Stay
playground.
home. Decisions are so hard to make.
Yeah.
And you question it all. I question it all. Do you see
Yeah.
that? Yes.
There is.
Ugh.
There rarely feels like there's a clear sense of what the good slash move
You
is.
can't do that to an auntie. You can't. Just know that Lincoln, every day I have said, I miss Elias Maddox and Lincoln.
Is it really?
Sorry,
been like
my
a
nephew
month?
just said, go with me. So I haven't seen my family in a month and I miss them. And that's all.
Since my brother, sister-in-law, and nephews moved here 6 months ago, we've seen them every week, multiple times. Like rarely a day goes by, and now we have not seen them in forever. So Mercy had this comment earlier about feeling like, well, I'm just a loser with no social life. But then I remind myself it's all contextual, it's all circumstantial. And I had the thought earlier this week about, I think it was related to Sojourn. It was related to Sojourn and related to some of my, like the shows that I do during the week and our podcast, and how everything the last 2 weeks in our life just had to get shut down and paused and rearranged. And I was really struggling one afternoon with feeling like I'm disappointing so many people. Like I had a couple interviews lined up and had to cancel those and reschedule those and feeling like this word disappointment. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm disappointing people. And then I had the thought, Kate, that since this pandemic has began, or we've been in this for 2 years now, I can't think of anyone that I've felt disappointed in. Right? Like when they've had to change things or cancel things or rearrange, or when something got disrupted out in the world, or with someone else in my social network.
It's instant grace. It's
right.
So
I've never
easy to
felt
just
like
okay.
disappointed in them.
Yep, totally understand.
And so I'm trying to just sort of turn that lens back around and realize that I don't think people are disappointed in me or us for not like whatever pushing through and still doing the things that we are used to doing.
Yep.
So if that, Mercy, I don't know, you weren't asking for any feedback there, and maybe that has nothing to do with what you're sharing, but for anyone that might be helpful, you know, maybe you're like me and you have been just lavishly throwing grace and patience to everybody during all this, but then you feel like you are somehow the one that's mucking things up or messing things up, and just chances are everybody's throwing that kindness and grace back towards you as well.
I just want to put Mama's comment back on the screen one more time. I already put it up once, and I want to draw attention to it again. Hearing all of your struggles helps me not feel alone in this struggle. And I just want to draw attention to that to say this is why we do what we do. This is why we gather every week. I know it's been a minute. This is why we continue to gather every week, so that we're not alone in our struggles. Thank you for being brave and vulnerable and sharing your struggles so that we can have that experience together. Melanie says we're all in this together and it all belongs.
Word.
Donna, I work in elementary school and classrooms are routinely going online for 3 to 5 days and constant emails about exposures. Yep. And you keep thinking, when will it be my turn? So true. It's constant.
Oh God, Alexa, that first sentence. I feel
yes. The hard part is if everything works, it seems like we overreacted. If we don't do enough, then everything fails. And if we're somewhere in the middle, as we seem to be, folks on both sides are furious. How do we grieve this trauma and find the right balance?
I don't know that we do.
That was the perfect comment.
That was
Every
so
word
well
of
said.
That. Every word of that. So true. Ugh. Dealing with grief and a neighbor with dementia who gets angry because I require her to meet me outside in a mask.
I'm sorry, Susan.
But you can't leave her isolated totally. Good for you, Susan. You're both handling it. Good job. It's so hard. And Shauna says your words to Mercy helped her as well.
Good.
Not disappointed at all. Proud of y'all for listening to your bodies and giving yourselves grace. Thank you, Patty and Bill, for your words privately to us this week. That was everything. As well as all the other love you sent us. Hi, Porters. Julie says we've been so careful, and Lilia got it anyway, right? My job is sending me to a huge in-person conference in Florida this week, which feels crazy. I'm so sorry, Julie. Yes, those required things that just feel like, what? Oh, Marie says, I have no idea how I've not got it. Isn't that wild too? Having conversation about this with COVID cautious people is so healing.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Good.
Laura. That's how I feel too.
Right? I feel seen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I love you all so much. Let's do some, do we have a fun one next?
Yeah.
We do? Where's the button? What do I hit next? Let's go to our next.
It's not a button right now. It's click. I didn't do buttons.
Oh, I do just want to say Sweet 16. Oh, love y'all. Emma, happy Sweet 16. I love you so much. And I'm so sorry you're going through your teenage years in this.
Really
I see you teenagers.
That really sucks.
It's so hard.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Although if you still wanted to share what Omicron's doing to you, you feel free. This is your service. But hey, tell us about something that recently you discovered or were introduced to or came to, and you realize you're late in the game to discover it, but you're still really glad that you did. Like, it's been around for a minute, and you know you're not the first one. It'd be like somebody saying, hey guys, have you seen Ted Lasso yet? Like, yes, we've all seen it. We're glad that you finally discovered it. Welcome. But share something with us that you are really into right now or really enjoying, and you're realizing I'm pretty...
How did I not know about this?
Yeah, pretty late to the game to discover this, but I'm glad that I finally have.
I feel like that's me with absolutely everything.
Oh, really?
I feel like I'm always late to everything. Bill says Wordle.
We don't talk about that.
Colby, you're so weird.
I'm just anti it for some reason.
No, you're just anti everything.
False.
Yes,
wait, you just tricked me.
That's the great thing about contrary human beings is you can trick them all the time. If you are, you, I think.
But I still feel like you're ahead of the game if you're into Wordle right now. It'd be like 6 months from now. If
Everyone say
like,
Wordle just to see what Colby does. Yeah,
this is a bad plan.
Succession.
Succession, James. That makes me so happy. Also seeing
Logan,
you makes me so happy.
Jane the
Hi, buddy.
Virgin.
Yes, Jane the Virgin, y'all.
We are huge Jane the Virgin fans here.
This
at Sojo.
is the time in your life where you should be watching it. Like you need the light and life.
Everything about that
in your
show,
heart
man.
to
And
just
if at some
explode.
point when you're watching it, you think to yourself, "This is really weird. What am I doing?" Just lean in. Just stick to it.
Enjoy
Promise
the weird.
you.
Embrace the weird.
Promise you. I promise you. I promise you.
Shane feels you, Kate. He feels the same way.
Of course, Shane and I are the same. Shane and I are always the same.
My mom says The Office. Yeah, welcome to The Office, Mom. That's so fun.
That is
yes,
so fun.
can't stop laughing.
Yeah,
That show's fantastic.
for sure.
Audiobooks.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
have trouble focusing, especially with nonfiction, but I can listen to audiobooks for days.
Oh, I love that for you. What's Karen reacting to with the "for some reason"? Who said that?
I don't know. I have a hunch she's mocking me.
Probably.
I accept it.
Yes, Jane the Revolution.
Oh, Korea dramas, and it's so fun. That's cool.
I don't know what that is.
Sushi Go. Yes.
Love Sushi
We love
Go.
Sushi Go. That company, Game Right, the makers of that, made some amazing games.
Let's see how many times Karen will comment about Jane. Yes, Jane Revolution. Jane for everyone.
Laura says, my Nintendo 64, I just bought it to enjoy it with my littles. It brings me
Oh my gosh.
Star Fox 007.
Oh my gosh,
wow.
Mario Kart.
And now I want to do all that too. So much 007. We've got more fans for Jane the Virgin.
Oh, you turned Joe onto Succession.
I'm so glad that someone listened to me. If you haven't yet checked it, well, it's not for everybody. I think a
It's
lot
not
of
for
it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if you don't get dragged down by characters that are all pretty loathable,
It's one of those shows that there's nothing redemptive in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of horrible people acting horribly, but really well written.
so
Oh, Ben says,
Just
I'm here
love
in the
that show.
background listening and so grateful to hear your experiences. It does make me feel less alone. I really needed to run this morning because my body is a mess and I'm glad to be running with y'all in my ears.
that's awesome.
Love that. Oh, Schitt's Creek. You're late to
Marie,
Schitt's
yep,
Creek.
that's a
Well,
great
welcome.
response to that.
Welcome. Where is Jane the Virgin on? I'm not sure.
How are y'all watching Jane the Virgin? Is that
These
on
days.
Hulu these days?
Can't remember where we watched it.
Days.
We watched it back in the day.
Ooh, Laura Shepard was an early adopter of Jane the Virgin. Well done.
So good.
Yes, Calico.
Aw, yes.
That's fantastic. I love that answer so much.
Me too.
We have been around for 8 years.
Oh,
almost.
Tito.
8
Tito was
years.
late to Words with Friends. I love that.
Have you guys tried Scrabble? I don't know.
Oh,
what it
Netflix
was.
is the answer to
Netflix.
that.
Donna, Jane
That's
the Virgin's
easy.
on Netflix. Netflix. Man, words today.
Yes.
Speaking
this
of
is
Logan-
the reason it's weird, and just lean in. It's fun. And If
Yeah.
you need to research that, go for it. But also just lean in. It's fun. Unstable unicorns.
Unstable unicorns. Yeah, Tito.
Come play with
that's
us. Well,
so
when we
fun.
don't have COVID, come play with us.
My answer to this, seeing my brother's comment on that reminded me, my answer is Ben Rector is a musician that I guess has been making music for a long time.
Love Ben.
And I didn't even know that he existed. And my brother was floored at this because he's like, Colby, this is right in your lane. And so he made me a custom playlist on Spotify of Ben Rector's
Colby's
greatest
love
hits.
language is playlist because Colby loves like perfectly curated music, but hates making them.
I don't like making playlists, y'all.
If you want to watch Colby stress out, watch him try to find the songs he wants to listen to. He just loses it.
Yeah.
Like when I made you your
So-
Christmas playlist.
Yeah.
Camille, Animal Crossing, one of our kids is absolutely obsessed. Started playing last year and redecorating my island has honestly gotten
I
me
don't know what that
through.
means, but I'm so happy
I
for
love
you.
that.
Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Incredible book. Incredible woman.
Never too late for Untamed. Always, always applicable. So good.
Tito, we haven't done the NSFW Unstable Unicorns.
What's that?
Not safe for work?
What does that mean?
I mean,
This is what I'm late to. What does not safe for work mean?
since our work is Sojourn, does that, like, how does that apply? Not safe for church?
This
Is that
has
a
been
thing?
on my list forever. Is it good? You wish you'd listened earlier, so obviously. Yeah, and it's causing you a full-on crisis. I love you. Karen doesn't like not liking things that other people that she likes.
Karen, I'm going to have to think about that because that doesn't make sense to me.
Is it okay that I just shared that about you?
I think I'm going to armchair psychoanalyze our friend right now in real
No, you're
time.
not. You can do it later when we're together with just them. Stand-up comedy streamed, obviously.
Yes.
It's
God,
the
I went
best.
through,
Comedy
yeah.
is just getting me through.
I went through about 18 months of my life where it was all stand-up all the time. And I watched it as an observer to learn how to preach better, actually. Not to be funnier, but just to try to learn the art.
Okay. Good job. And
Captain America, First Avenger.
it just makes me so happy when people catch up on anything Marvel. Like recently, our kids, if they were here sharing about this, our kids finally got into, or our two oldest have always been obsessed with all things Marvel. They've always been like ahead of the game, like ahead of my game, even more obsessed than me. And then our two youngest have been like, no, like turn their nose up at it. Yeah. And then was it Christmas break? What is time these days?
Yeah.
Anyway, they finally got excited. They slowly eased in with some Spider-Man. They liked Spider-Man. And then they got really obsessed with the Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. And we all bawled our heads off in the theater at No Way Home? Suddenly that sounds strange. Is that
I think so.
Yeah, No Way Home.
Homecoming,
Anyway.
Far From Home, No Way Home.
Was it right?
Spider-Man Home Alone.
Anyway, that got them in, and then they finally wanted to watch the Infinity War and Endgame movies with us, which are just the best, my favorite thing in the world. So that was a very exciting moment for me. I was just watching them watch it, like waiting for each moment where they would react to things.
Our nephew Elias, Pokemon D&D podcast. Late to the game, but super glad that he found it.
Nice.
Wingspan.
Nice. What's Wingspan?
I don't know.
Board game has a digital
But it
version.
all
I want to know
belongs.
what that is because I want to know what all games are because I love games. You just don't see the joy. Yeah.
To not see the joy in Succession, I just...
Colby, other humans have other experiences. Your own
I'm gonna
wife does
host
not
an
have
entire
any joy
online
in that show.
discussion.
Colby has a hard time with It All Belongs if he feels strongly about something.
When y'all try to say some things don't belong.
We're
Succession
not saying it doesn't
belongs
belong.
on the top
We're
3
saying
greatest
we don't
shows of all
like it.
time.
That's very different from it not belonging. Oh, poor Colby.
All right. Everybody's entitled to have bad taste. Even bad taste
Rewatching
belongs.
White Collar, Home Economics. Jane is on Netflix and Prime Video. Really? Didn't know that. Which, to be clear, very hard for me. Maintenance Phase, the podcast.
Brooke says This Is Us. That you were
I
a late
was
one to
late
that
to
as well,
that.
and now love it.
I was late to it and did the really quick try to catch up. So I was watching it nonstop, whatever I was doing, folding laundry, everything. Just got to catch up to my friends who are current. And I'm all caught up and watch it.
Yes, Alexa, you heard correctly.
My better half doesn't like Succession either. Male versus female thing? No. My friend Ben is completely on the same page as me. It's just a personality.
Yeah, I think it's just good
thing.
taste versus bad taste is what we've narrowed it down to.
Do you see how he struggles with It All Belongs? Do you see this? Welcome to my life experience, y'all. This is the longest church service in history. Do we still do the other things we planned? Because we're having a very long conversation.
This is the part we knew was going to be the bulk of it. The rest of it is going to be, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He says to me giving the spiritual nugget today, but if he were giving it, he'd be like,
Obviously.
oh,
I grew up in a cult, so I'm late to everything. That's hilarious.
I love you.
That is hilarious.
Ben's like, well, I'm just discovering television. So, I mean, that's literally true.
Marie, Modern Family has become our family's family show to watch together, and we're on season 5.
Yeah.
And
it's entirely inappropriate, which for us, so controversial opinion.
It is NSFF, not safe for family. But
we purposefully watch stuff like that with our kids because it's a great way to actually teach them. If you struggle to figure out how to initiate, I couldn't think of the word initiate. This is COVID brain fog. What was the word? I couldn't think of bumper earlier. Just couldn't locate it. Couldn't find it in my brain. If you struggle with figuring out how to initiate conversation with your kids, I swear by just watching TV with them. We've done that their whole lives. Mm-hmm. We just watch, especially the more inappropriate, the better. We watch Survivor with them, which has all kinds of inappropriate behavior. I know it sounds funny for your pastor to be like, watch inappropriate things with your children, but the more inappropriate it is, the better the conversation. I was late to the Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's awesome. I was late to that too.
Like Love Island? I
And
don't want to
actually-
watch Love Island with our kids. I don't even watch it myself, but it just seems like a bad idea.
Oh, you're saying you could go too far with that?
Yes.
No, of course, but
Okay.
you know what I mean.
I do. Shane was late to Lord of the Rings. It is the answer to almost everything, Shane. That is the correct. I'm so excited / nervous for Amazon's series later there.
Logan says, I'll pass on a second song for more of this. We want your second song.
We want your second song.
Please hang in there unless you have plans and you have to go.
I triggered Robert somehow. Sorry, Robert. I don't know what I did, but
Okay, so here's
I
the
have
thing.
that ability.
Karen, I went home and realized that of course I knew that. I just forget it. Like, you know how you and I forget books? I forget SNL sketches. That was a long time ago.
what does Patty hate it?
Probably Succession.
No. We need.
I'm just saying. Colby,
I'm fine.
practice.
Listen,
Practice.
I'm projecting
It
an
all
image of somebody who
belongs.
overly cares about a thing because it's fun. That's not real.
Is it fun? Are we having fun?
You've laughed like 4 times.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, see Bethany. Bethany. Oh, wait. Remember? Oh, man, Beavis and Butthead. Can you put Bethany's comment up there? Because
Sure.
she's mostly always.
Because you need so much
I need some
support right now. You're
She
just
really
hurting.
is. People are allowed to not like it,
my
but
God.
are they though? Yeah. Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Righteous Gemstones. That's right. Earlier, Bill said
that's
that
on my
he's been
list
loving
of late things to get to.
Righteous Gemstones, but Patty hates it.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Well, Bill and I tend to be more alike, so it's on my list of things I want to be late to get to.
Yeah. Okay.
Logan is publicly expressing his love for Succession.
All right.
People love that show. You are not in some sort of oppressed group of people. Good God. It's a bunch of rich white people acting like assholes, and Colby's like, oh, you don't love this show. I'm so hurt.
That is hard to defend when you put it like that.
Yep. Okay, anyway. I was only allowed to watch Disney and Animal Planet as a child. Yeah. We had really weird rules about stuff we could watch. Like, it didn't really make sense at all. And my parents found that as long as they said, now remember, kids, you can't have sex until you get married, after we watched stuff, that made it fine to watch it. Also, the only sex things I was ever taught. Can't do it till you get married. Anybody else? The only thing they were ever taught about sex?
Only thing the good Lord cares about.
This is how Colby manifests the discomfort with needing to like or not like the things other people like. Image projectors are fun. Okay, so it's the same thing that Karen struggles with. It's just this is your way of it manifesting in you. It's a discomfort with people liking
I mean, I
different things than you.
don't like how we're phrasing it as though I've got issues, but you're right. Look who just
That
joined.
made me happy. Oh my God! Hi! Sorry, I would
Hi,
freak
Eric.
out for a second.
Really good to see your face,
Hi,
even in a
friend.
thumbnail.
Just freaking out.
And your
for a
answer was
minute.
great too.
And
Trusting
your
my
answer
intuition,
is
but it's more just
fantastic.
you. Okay.
That's a great
Okay.
answer.
Let's get to. Can you share?
Basically, just like, please assure us our opinions are valid and correct and the best ones. No, I refuse. You know I refuse.
All right. Can we?
I refuse.
Are you ready? Can we move on? We're good.
Virginity is the ticket to God's approval.
Oh
Yep.
God, we are.
What?
Nothing. It's great. We're crushing it here. Okay.
Can we what?
Move on to the spiritual nugget.
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah. You good? Because it's you.
Yes.
What do you need to do?
I'm just going to make it very, very awkward. I'm going to run inside and go pee really quick before I do this.
All right. Well.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, baby. So good to see you, brother. Cameron was super late to Game of Thrones. Binged it when I had the vid. Is that the new? So the Rona is so 2021. The vid is now what we're calling it. That's fantastic. See, now Game of Thrones. Okay, if I can further defend my unnecessary, indefensible position, Game of Thrones is one that I completely hold space for people. Like it's fine that you don't like Game of Thrones. I also loved Game of Thrones. Many people didn't, and that's totally fine. Succession, how does one not like it? But again, I get it. Like, there's no characters are all that redeemable, but they're also, yeah, well, you didn't come here for this. I'll move on. Talk amongst yourselves. This is fantastic. All right. We're now going to move to the time in our gathering that we call spiritual nugget, which is sort of a funny little term. I get it, but it's our way of compressing the old school sermon into a more bite-sized nourishment for your soul and your mind.
me again. For those who want to hang in for this super long church service. That was so good for my soul, though. I still keep finding more comments I want to interact with because I just want to sit and talk with you forever. I love y'all. So I do want to share just really quick. I'll make it even more nugget size this morning since we've gone really long so y'all can get back to your lives, as we all just discussed that we have no lives right now. But anyway, so you can get back to your television, to your Netflix. I do just want to share with you this morning. I was reminded of a deep truth this week as our family was continuing to navigate our battle with COVID. And so I want to share that reminder with y'all because it was really impactful for me. And usually when someone has a particular specific experience, when they share that, it ends up being universal. I do want to give just a quick little preamble to my deep truth reminder, which is that anytime there's a deep truth of any sort, it is always paradoxical, right? The deepest truths that get us back on track and remind us, it's always paradox. And so if this morning, when I'm reminding us of this deep truth, you have this kind of bodily experience that we have when we hear someone sharing a spiritual truth of like, but what about, and you're like seeing the other side of it, right? I just want to encourage you to lean into that in a positive way of, you know, when you feel that, but what about feeling like kind of heart racing of like, but I feel the opposite, that with this, the opposite is just as true. Like it's paradox, right? So the truth I'm going to share, the opposite of it is also entirely true, entirely true. I just feel that that's always a good reminder, but I feel like it's extra important for this one because I really want to address our pandemic lives. And I think paradox is extra needed in that. So I just want to give us that reminder that this truth is important, but so is the opposite of it. Okay. So this morning, I want to share with you that this truth comes to me in a heavier, more... So the specific of my life in this spiritual truth is, you know, some of us experience deep spiritual truths on a more impactful level based on our personal experience, right? And so this one comes to me from my very personal lived experience, which is that my soul, who I am, my being, how I show up to the world is deeply impacted by the experience of early parent loss and watching death at a very young age. And that experience makes me that kind of person, you know them, maybe you are one yourself, who shows up to life in this like, I can't miss a moment way, right? I am intensely interested in making sure that I don't miss any of what life has to offer. And this is not always a positive thing, right? Talk about paradox. There's a lot of fear in it. There's a lot of anxiety and making sure that it comes from a fear of missing out on what life has to offer too soon, right? Dying too soon is the big fear that this comes from. And so then in that, I've got this deep concern with making sure that I don't miss out on any of life. So connecting that to the pandemic, what has happened for me is that I've realized that when the pandemic first happened, we started telling a story about it, right? We started telling the story that our lives have had a pause button pushed on them, that we are in this moment of everything has come to a standstill and we are just like waiting for when our lives will start again. The pandemic is this big disruption. It's an interruption to living. And someday we'll get back to living our lives. And that makes so much sense. And we narrate this story that way in a 1,000 different ways, right? In the way that we talk about it, in the way that we navigate it. But it is this giant pushing pause on our lives. Makes sense, right? All these canceled events that are so important, these milestones that we're not hitting that we normally would. Our lives have been disrupted. They have been. And there has been a giant pause button pushed. And that soul that I just described that I have I have found as being crushed by that way of narrating the situation. To think of losing 2 years of living life for what I just described to you, that way that I show up in the world, that concern I have, to the idea of 2 years just missing out on living life, that we have to wait till some unknown date. We don't even know when we'll push play again and life will start back up. That idea doesn't sit well in my soul, and it was causing me not just pain, but like suffering, right? Pain is inevitable. Pain is something we need to lean into, but it was causing me suffering. Suffering is different. Suffering is when we actually are missing out on living life. And I realized that it was really important for me to come back to some really fundamental, simple spiritual truths so that I could not suffer through this. I need to not miss out on life. I need to know that if I die tomorrow, I didn't miss 2 years. That's just really important for me in showing up to this life. And I've realized that that's my specific story, yes, but in that is the universal truth that we collectively could be just missing life right now. When we narrate the story that way, and we say that our lives have been like we've pushed pause and someday they'll start up again, what happens is we miss the life that's happening right now in front of our eyes, right? Including the loss and the grief. We miss that chance to show up to the pain and the grief and name the loss when we're like, oh, we're just not doing life right now. Everything's just on pause. So basically what is happening for me is I'm being reminded of the powerful impact of mindful presence. Just present moment stuff, right? Just the most simple, basic spiritual truths are what I need to return to right now, to just show up to what is, to this moment. Disease and loss and missed moments and struggle and everything falling apart have always, since the beginning of time, been a part of what it means to be alive on planet Earth. And this too is living. Our life is now. This isn't a blip in our story, a pause. This is our story. This is our life. We are living it. This week, the world said goodbye to one of, if not the greatest mindfulness teachers of all time, Thich Nhat Hanh. And he's the one who taught me. I used to think that mindfulness practices, meditation and mantras and breathing exercises, I used to think all of that spiritual practice was just this like woo-woo spiritual bypassing way to escape life. And Thich Nhat Hanh is the one that taught me that that's just the opposite of true. And so I want to share with you this morning just this simple, short excerpt from my favorite Thich Nhat Hanh teaching, Living Buddha, Living Christ. It's my most beat up book because it's the one I return to most often. And I just want to share with you a quick thought that is what I was having come up for me this week. He said, usually we say, just in life, usually we say, wait until I finish school and get my PhD degree, and then I will really be alive. But then we obtain it and we say, I have to wait until I have a job in order to really be alive. After the job, we need a car, and after the car, a house. We are not capable of being alive in the present moment. We always postpone being alive to the future. We don't know exactly when. It is possible we will never be truly alive in our current life. The technique, if we must speak of a technique, is to be in the present moment, to be aware that we are here and now, and that the only moment to be alive is the present moment. This is what I'm talking about. And we know that we do this, right? But we usually think of it like Thich Nhat Hanh describes here of these positive things that we're looking forward to. My life will start when I get married. My life will start when I have kids. My life will start when this dream is actualized or that dream is actualized. But it hit me this week that we're doing it with the pandemic, with this struggle. Life will resume again when the pandemic is over, right? And I get it. Again, paradoxical truth, right? Our lives have been disrupted. And I think it's imperative that we learn to be mindful in this time now. We don't know when this thing will end. We don't know when our lives will, they'll never go back, right? We have been deeply changed by this thing. Nothing will ever be the same. But if this thing ever comes to an end, what will that mean? What will that mean? That then we'll be really alive? Or can we be really alive now? For me, the practice of just simple mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh taught me that it is not about escaping anything in life. Like I thought it was. I thought it was spiritual bypassing to get out of the hard moments. And it's not even about making the hard moments better. But mindful practices are actually just as simple as this, showing up to what is. It's not how do I escape what is. It's not how do I make what is better. It's how do I show up to what is. I just want to show up now. I don't want to miss 2 years of my kids' squishy faces. I don't want to miss 2 years of relating to my husband and making our marriage something beautiful. I don't want to miss 2 years of relating to you and building community. Because I'm we'll get back to building community when this thing is finally over. What? Community is what we need now. Relationship is what we do now. Showing up to this life, grieving and being present to all that is what we do now. Not when this thing is finally over. Not some day in the future that's unknown to us, but present to what is now. And so Thich Nhat Hanh talks about technique, and it's always simple, which is why I love it with him. And mantras and breathing exercises are all that it takes. And Thich Nhat Hanh shares this simple one, which I love. I'm going to share with you and offer it to you, and then I'll share with you what I used this week to get me through. Thich Nhat Hanh does this. He just names breathing in and breathing out. And he says, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know that this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know that this is a wonderful moment. And this week, I've just said simply to myself through breathing in and out, and I've just said to myself, this is living. In this moment, I have all that it means to live a life. This is it. This stuck at home, my kids missing school, this freaking out, trying to find tests, being sick. I'm alive in this moment. This is what is. And I can show up to it. Be alive now. That matters. How we narrate our story is so important, isn't it? Because it becomes the story itself. What we say about it becomes our reality. So when I was saying that life was on pause and we weren't really alive now, that was becoming the story. And that's why it mattered to me to narrate it differently. That I'm alive now so that I would be. I can make that reality. I wanted to share that with you this morning. Kolb's created a beautiful, mindful moment for us to go ahead and practice that right now, right here. There'll be some guided meditation going on, some words on the screen with some meditative music. And I just invite you here and now to find your mantra. Maybe it's Thich Nhat Hanh's breathing in. Maybe it is just, this is living. Maybe it's the words on the screen you're able to find. Locate a mantra for yourself. But I invite you to do that and just practice this right now in this moment.
I'm going to share a song that I wrote. It was the last song I wrote as a musician touring around on the road. And it was in that moment I realized I was chasing after something that I thought, when that thing comes, I can then, go back home and have a better life for my family and my kids that were really little at the time. And in truth, I was kind of running from that because I knew I was good at this thing. I wasn't so sure I was good at the other thing, the husband and the dad thing. And it felt a lot easier to be present out there than at home. So whatever may be causing you to not feel that present moment and miss out on life like I felt like I was missing out so much on, may you find your way back home today. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. Tonight I'll find my way back home. And there is so much more for me to do. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. There was a fire inside, burning deep and bright, and I tried to hide the fact that I knew that I felt the changing tide. I saw the stars alight, and all along they point me home to you. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. And there is so much more for me to do. Tonight I'll find my way to you. And as the front door sways and your arms give way to the warm embrace of love so true, I see your eyes meet mine, and I feel you trying to find the man you fell in love with, the man you knew. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. Tonight I'll find my way back home to you. And there is so much more for me to do. But tonight I'll find my way back home. Oh, my way back home. Oh, my way back home. There's nowhere else to go, 'cause I know my way back.
Airplane cookie, anyone?
I love that song, Logan. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, brother. Communion. I miss this version of communion. Somehow feels more like connected to y'all.
Let us know what you're taking with this morning.
Weird COVID in-person birch.
In-person birch? I like it.
I mean, that's what it was. We'd always be you know what I mean?
The previous,
I was like, that sounds weird, but
August
that's what it was.
December.
Yeah, the like weird mixing both of them. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, airplane cookie is just what we call these now.
And then I'm drinking coffee that I made this morning from Phil's Coffee.
That's your obsession.
Some of my favorite coffee beans come from Phil's.
Anissa has donut and coffee. Shane has chocolate and coffee. Let us know what you got. It's my favorite. If you're still here after this very long verge. I love you all. It was so good to connect today. Don't you just feel like filled up? I feel filled up.
Yeah.
Ginger snap. Oh, I love ginger snaps.
You do love ginger snaps.
Mm-hmm. Vienna finger cookie and sweet tea. That
sounds lovely.
Yum. Do you want to say anything about communion?
Yeah, I was thinking about communion this morning.
Folks grab their stuff.
This somewhat odd ritual that our religious heritage has done in different iterations over the last 2,000 years. And I oftentimes like to think through, like, how did this thing start? Because we don't really know how a lot of our things started in our religious heritage. So there's a lot of creative liberty that can be taken in that. But I think it started with some of the earliest folks who were trying to sort of pass on this wisdom teaching, this invitation to a way of life from their friend Jesus. It started with them being like, you guys remember how one of Jesus's favorite things was to break the cultural barriers of who could eat at what table and when? Like, he loved doing that. He loved inviting people to share a meal with him that the majority of society would have frowned upon or would have even denied in some sort of religious justification way. And so as I think through the early community trying to come up with, because we need rituals. You talk about this all the time. We need things that help us delineate between the different segments and the times of our life to call us back to this moment, as we've been talking about this morning. And so I think they were trying to maybe think through a ritual they could do on a regular basis to remind themselves of why they were doing what they do. And I love thinking of the first person who's like, hey guys, what if we did something around the table? What if we did something with food and drink? Because it calls back to our Jewish heritage of the Passover, but it also reminds people about Jesus's whole thing around table fellowship. And so I think from what we know, it started as this meal they would share. And then it's over time sort of became more just a piece of bread and a cup, and then it is sort of what it is today. So anyway, that's what was in my mind this morning about this ritual of calling back to this thing that seemed really important to Jesus, which was everybody is a part of the beloved family of God. And the illusions and the divisions that get created by society, by religion, by our own internal biases and fears and prejudices, none of those are real. None of those are real. The divisions, we are all tied together. And so this ritual reminds us of that. So we'll take our airplane cookie. You take what you have this morning.
You see that Ben's in the Starbucks line to pick up communion?
Oh, my word. That's fantastic.
Ritz crackers. Is there anything better than a Ritz cracker? No, there's not. You think there is, but there's not, I promise you. I love Ritz crackers. Ginger beer and marshmallow, that's a good combo.
I like that. And marshmallow. Not marshmallows, just and marshmallow. Single.
Apple Jacks and A2 milk. Salt and vinegar chips and kombucha.
What's A2 milk?
Blueberry waffle. Coffee.
Do you know what
Coffee
A2 milk is?
Protein bar. No.
Okay.
2%? I have no idea. I've never heard that term before.
All right. Take your coffee, take your sweet tea, take your A2 milk, take your Starbucks if you've gotten it yet, take your sparkling water.
Yes, that agrees.
And drink. Oh, you're still eating. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. Ooh. Also delicious.
Fig rolls? I do love a good fig roll.
And Earl Grey tea.
Yeah. I mostly miss on tea. Occasionally.
Yeah. You do,
Mostly
don't you?
miss, yeah.
You're like, Is it Ted Lasso that hates tea? He calls it dirty water.
Yeah.
You're
Feels
Ted
like
Lasso.
whole parts of the world are just trolling us.
That's weird. You're Ted Lasso in like all the ways. Even that.
I want to take that in a direction to say something, but I'm not sure if we should keep going or if we should end it.
No. Sorry, I just spit everywhere. Good thing.
Was that no, don't say something about Ted Lasso? I'm trying to read the room. People let me know. Do you want me to hear what I was going to say about Ted Lasso?
Wants to
or do you
hear
want to
your
just end
Ted
it?
Lasso
Not necessarily.
comment.
They might be ready to move on with their day.
God. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right.
We need more affirmation, Martin.
So
Gracious.
this is not a thought original to me. This was an article I read a couple weeks ago that I felt gave some articulation to some of my experience with Ted Lasso, specifically season 2. So you know how in season 1 with Ted Lasso, you really get the picture of this individual who uses, or not uses, but who is just uber positive.
Mm-hmm.
And he faces cynicism with positivity. He faces sort of sarcasm and the cruelty of the media and players that are aggressive and all, like his response, he chooses positivity over and over and over again. And this is part of, I think, what drew people towards Ted Lasso. But then as the show progressed, and especially moved into season 2, people were trying to wait for the other shoe to drop is what it was. Like, hold on, but we all know that this positivity from Ted is just a compensation for something else, right? Like it's a mask, it's a ruse, it's a projection. And so people were waiting for this.
I know that. Yeah.
Waiting for this other shoe to drop. Like, okay, but what's the source of all this? And people were throwing around the phrase toxic positivity. Like, this is sort of toxic positivity. And then as season 2, spoiler alert, mute it.
Kind reductionist, but yes.
Mute it for the next 40 seconds if you don't want to hear how season 2 ends.
Oh.
So season 2, you find out that he has some deep trauma from his past, specifically around some death in his family and some other things that have the implication then is sort of bury the deep, dark, hard trauma and overcompensate by projecting positivity. Okay, you can unmute it. You can come back now. So the article that I read, how would they know to unmute it? I guess they wouldn't have known, huh? But I said 40 seconds.
Everything about that was funny.
So but the article was pointing out was that, and this was before season 2 had ended. So they were saying, I kind of hope it doesn't lead toward this story where Ted Lasso's using positivity as a overcompensation for some deep dark thing, because they really loved the version of Ted that chose positivity as the more courageous choice in light of a world that is cynical and wants to beat you down. And so rather than it being a sort of unhealthy crutch to overcompensate, they liked the version of Ted that was choosing positivity. And that really resonated with me. And I know it can be both and somewhere in the middle. I get all that.
We're going to just have to record a podcast episode about that because I have 2,700 things to say in response to that.
It's a lot of things to say.
I know. Everything that is being said is too simplistic. There's too much paradox in this. Okay. Anyway. Yes, it's a show, Cameron, and you made me laugh out loud. I hope you caught that. And also, Anissa was in the total, muted lull. How do we know when to come back? Laugh. I'm glad that was... She's probably the only one still on the
probably
thing right now. Hi, Anissa. Want to hang out? What do you want to do?
So,
what should we do next?
I loved the show, BT Dubs. I'm
just avoiding ending the broadcast today because I just needed my people. Oh. Even though I don't think anyone's there anymore. We lost everyone. You loved what?
I loved the show.
Oh,
I can't even remember why I started talking about that anyway.
No idea.
It was just your comment about tea and me being like Ted Lasso. So I know that a lot of that is my own projection.
Right, because you are a Ted Lasso, so of course you're gonna be rooting for it to be. Yeah, totally. Oh, hi, Laura. Laura's hanging out with us too. You, me, Laura, and Anissa.
And maybe Ben, if he's still.
Maybe Cameron trying to figure out what the heck is this rodeo.
Wait, what's Cameron trying to figure out?
He's like, is Ted Lasso some rodeo thing?
Oh, that's funny.
And it just made me laugh really.
Oh,
also, we had explained to us.
Low lactose version of milk.
Well, Bill gave a longer explanation for it too. But I still don't get it.
100% real milk.
Still don't get it. Is that what raw milk is? I don't get anything having to do with milk. Colby will do a whole spiel about that's you
you're
about weird. No,
you're taking my take.
No.
Take stealer.
Nope.
I gave my take credit to some person that I read an article. Not that I remembered who it was or where.
I'm not doing your thing about friggin' almond milk and oat milk. I don't understand actual cow's milk.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying milk.
Colby has
is
a whole
confusing
thing
to you.
about milk being confusing. Anyway.
Okay.
Love y'all.
You're welcome, Mercy. Thank you all for showing up for us. Susan's like,
bit
I'm
lost.
here, but a bit lost. So say we all. Okay, so we'll see you all next Sunday. And we'll most likely be at our the wide open commons in front of the pink fireplace. That's the plan. But
if no one else has COVID between now and
I do not know.
I think that's
Thank you, Anissa. Anissa's helping us get out of here.
She's like, let's get this show on the road.
Because you're a child of God. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I always screw this one up.
It's hard. Love to you. Love to you. Thank you, Brooke.
We're waiting for the next line.
There it is.
There we
Thanks,
go.
Anissa.
Thanks, Anissa.
Because so is everyone else. Love y'all. Have a good week, as best as you can, at least. If it's not good,
Have a something
don't-
week. Have a
don't-
mindful
don't
week.
blame yourself.